So, as you can see here, we are starting with a full Joule pod. So, at the very end of our experiment, we can go back and compare what we have left to what we started with, knowing that we started with a full Joule pod. So now that you saw the Joule pod was full, we're going to put it into the Joule pod, or the Joule, and then set up our experiment.
We have now attached the Joule to the hose.
So to explain exactly what's going on in this very sped up video we're showing you right here, pretty much we attach one end of our pump to the Joule and one end of our pump to a balloon. So as I'm pumping, it's sucking air from the Joule up into the little tube I'm holding and then pushing the smoke into the balloons. Once we fill up the balloons, we then tie them and of course store them. So the point of this experiment is to show how much smoke actually can come out of the Joule pods and into your lungs and how dangerous that can be. So at the very end of our experiment, we will bring up all the balloons. We'll pop a few to show you that definitely is some smoke in there. And then, when the experiment is done, we'll go back and show you the end product of the Joule pod so you can compare the beginning to the end. And then we can do some math to find out about exactly how much smoke can actually come out of a single Joule pod and how dangerous that can be because you're inhaling all that smoke into your lungs. And just to keep track, we filled up a total of 6 balloons. Here we are popping the balloons to show that there is actually vape smoke inside there. Now this is the Joule pod at the end of our experiment. As you can see, very little of the actual juice was used, showing just how much smoke could have actually came out of this Joule pod. So now we can do the fun part and actually look at the math behind all this. So if we think about the average number of puffs per Joule pod, it's normally about 200 puffs. So, and the average amount of volume per puff is about 1 liter. So if we multiply those together, so 200 puffs times 1 liter per puff, we get 200 liters of smoke. 200 liters of smoke would equal roughly about 200 of those balloons that we just filled up. So now you can see why, since we only filled up 6 balloons, we only used a very small amount of that Joule pod.